lightning-fast takeover of Taliban has raised questions over the implementation of Sharia law in Kabul. With the world still in shock of Taliban's takeover, Afghan citizens, especially women, wonder what kind of life awaits the nation. The Taliban spokesperson has confirmed that Sharia law will be implemented in the Emirates of Afghanistan. However, the Sharia law has a medieval flavor, and for Westerners, it has a backward outlook. Now, given previous Taliban's rule, human rights moderators have raised their suspicion over possible human rights violation in the Emirates of Afghanistan. But this time around, Taliban has given the surety of women's rights protection under the bounds of Sharia. The question, however, remains what version of Sharia law will be implemented and how rigid the implementation itself would be. Foremost, the Afghans should brace themselves for a new order which is different from liberalism that Afghans grew accustomed to in the past 2 decades. In 90s, with its support of Al-Qaeda and use of harsh punishments, the Taliban appeared to follow puritanical Salafism. However, their fall in 2001, Islamic State's demise in 2019, and regression of Al-Qaeda after Osama bin Laden's death would suggest that they have learned a lesson or two. Muslims of the subcontinent and Central Asia traditionally followed the Hanafi legal school, which is one of the more liberal of the 4 Sunni Islamic legal schools. Even if this legal school is implemented, its most recent form is the 150 years old Ottoman Majalla legal code. It will be curious to see if Taliban will consider Majalla at all. An important consideration is the degree of change the world and Afghanistan have gone through since the first Taliban rule. The Taliban were isolated when they first came to power, but now all of their offices have smartphones connected to the internet and social media. Most importantly, they are using them effectively to access the online world. And certainly, the online world would have a moderating effect. In the first Taliban rule, women had almost no rights. Women had to cover their bodies and faced with burqa, and they could not get education or work. They could only travel with a male chaperone. The Taliban today claims to be more inclusive and tolerant of women. While wearing the burqa may not be imposed, women and men will be required to cover the rest of their bodies, much like in Iran. Girls would be allowed to receive an education in girls-only school staffed by female teachers and female administrators. Women would be able to work in a narrow list of professions where there will be limited or no mixing of genders at all. Perhaps life for women in Afghanistan is going to be better than the last Taliban rule. However, it is going to be worse than the past 2 decades of rule, given women for the most part enjoyed liberal citizen rights. Repression is inevitable in Afghanistan. Its intensity, however, is open for speculations.